I don't have a lot to say about it aside from like it sucks and it's bad and I don't want to be here and this is terrible and please do something about it. I hate living in Kansas, y'all. Like I just am so tired of it. I'm so upset. And it's because they passed the law about the bathroom law in Kansas. I've made multiple videos about it at this point. They passed a bathroom bill. It's quite restrictive as far as bathroom bills go, but there's no mechanism for enforcing it. So we thought that maybe the primary thing that was going to be weird about it was that it's got this little paragraph toward the end that could be interpreted in such a way as to make it impossible for you to change your driver's license gender marker. And we've just gradually seen that situation get worse and worse. Like the Attorney General, who I guess we do vote for those in Kansas. So in some places, attorneys general are not voted for, but in Kansas they are voted for. So Chris Kobach was narrowly voted into office and apparently has a bunch of corruption scandals and everything, but he's doing his darndest to enforce the law that just passed, SB 180. The thing that is the newest information about this is that he has requested, Chris Kobach requested by a Shawnee County judge to look at the policy about issuing new driver's licenses with changes on the gender marker. So this judge suspended the current policy, which was allowing people to make gender marker changes on their licenses. Like, I was allowed to change the gender marker on my driver's license like 7 years ago, or however long it was. Now they're going to make it to where, like, if I were to renew my license, it would have my assigned sex at birth on it. They're claiming that this is, like, important. So yeah, Kobach filed suit on Friday, compelling the Department of Revenue to stop permitting trans Kansans to change gender markers on state licenses. Attorney General is contending that this practice violates Senate Bill 180, otherwise known as the Women's Bill of Rights, which he argues mandates residents be identified on driver's licenses based on sex assigned at birth. It doesn't actually say it in the law, by the way. It does not say trans people must be identified by their sex assigned at birth. Because I think if you did that, it would be pretty clear to a lot of people that that's fascistically, like, removing people's right to accurate documentation. So instead, it was written in this vague way. And Chris Kobach is choosing to interpret it in this way. He is choosing to say, hey, no, yeah, the way that it's written, the vague way that it's written means that you actually are not allowed to have a driver's license. Like, any new driver's licenses that you're trying to get issued that you want them to show a different gender than the one that you were assigned at birth, well, LOL, too bad. So, that's not optimal. Like, frankly, it's pretty upsetting to live here. Like, my ID is going to expire in a couple years, and if I still live here, then I am just going to receive an ID that has a gender marker on it that I did not choose. Frankly, it sucks no matter what for me. Like, the options are not great no matter what. I guess in some ways it would be kind of safest for me to have F on my license, but like mostly just because I think it's like I can pretend to be a girl, which sucks. Again, like having to pretend to be anything sucks. Having to pretend to be your sex assigned at birth sucks a lot more. Have they given any reason why it's important to have this? It says down here that the reason that they're giving is, like, when the judge ordered this, she noted that licenses are used by law enforcement to identify criminal suspects, crime victims, wanted persons, missing persons, and other people. She says compliance with stated legal requirements for identifying license holders is a public safety concern, saying allowing state respondents to issue non-compliant driver's licenses pending a court hearing is an immediate and irreparable injury that supports the grant of a temporary restraining order on the terms requested by the Attorney General. So she's basically claiming that, like, we need to be, I think that what she's saying is, like, we need to be consistent about it, I suppose. So, like, while this is being adjudicated, we're not going to issue licenses that have the correct gender marker on them. They'd probably think you're a trans woman because of your voice, so IDK. Well, that's the issue, Cosmic Witch. Like, my ID currently says male, but, so, like, if I were to be dressed like this out in public, they would see my ID and think that I'm male, right? But, like, if they saw female on my ID, do I feel confident that they wouldn't also think that I'm trans and I just had changed my ID? You know what I mean? Like, that I was a trans woman. Like, I kind of feel like no matter what it says on my ID, like, unless I am totally successfully passing as male or female, like, I am gender ambiguous enough that I am going to get caught up in trans misogyny. That's, like, the perspective that I believe I'm going to have to take going forward. Like, either I'm gonna have to try really hard to pass as male and like wear a binder all the time, even though I don't want to, or try to pass as a female and hope that my voice doesn't trip people up too much. Increased scrutiny, increased danger. I'm sitting here thinking like, I need to pretend to look like this or that in order to be safe in the bathroom, because I, as a visible non-binary person, as a visibly androgynous person, like, I will not be safe in the bathrooms. But like, the bathroom part isn't even the main part of this law. So when you have like Kansas City and Lawrence and probably other towns that are saying like, yeah, we are not going to enforce the bathroom bill part of this law. Like, okay, well, that doesn't help me with the identification problems. Hashtag save the Luxander, dono to help the cause. True. You know, we still have the issue of our birth certificates. You know, I don't know how it works with getting an amended birth certificate. Can you get, I don't think you can. If the state that you were born in does not allow you to amend the gender on your birth certificate, because they're also going after that. This state court action did not address Governor Kelly's administration's policy of allowing trans people to secure new birth certificates from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. Kobach has petitioned the U.S. District Court to modify a consent decree to end that practice. So currently you're able to change your birth certificate. I've never changed my birth certificate because I just don't want to have male on my birth certificate. So I just never amended it. I'm about to have like a birth certificate that says female, a driver's license that says male, and I'm going to get a passport that says X. So like, wow, it's so fun being a trans person and not being able to have identity documents that all match, because the law has arbitrarily decided that it's going to be difficult to change these things. Yeah, I'm really collecting all the gender markers. I'm like going to all the Pokemon gyms, getting all the gender markers. Oh my God. Generally speaking, like, this should not apply retroactively because of the fact that the law was what it was when we changed those documents. So like, it's, if people give me a driver's license that doesn't say male on it, like, you're revoking something that I legally possessed. Like, I legally have received the permission already. Just like when Proposition 8 happened, you know, marriage was legally allowed, permitted temporarily in California. Gay people got married, and then they passed Proposition 8 to make it illegal, but that did not nullify the marriages that happened in the interim. So I don't know why they're going back in time and nullifying this. Like, you know, why is it such a huge issue for public health and safety that, like, we be identified by our gender at birth? Like, there is no good reason for it. It's just fascism. It's just the fact that there's now a list of people who have changed their gender marker before on Chris Kobach's desk. Like, my name is on a list now. And it's terrifying, and I want to leave. Ex post facto. Yeah, it's a violation of ex post facto. These fascists do not care about the law. Like, I really hope that someone fucks up Chris Kobach's day. Whatever Chris Kobach personally thinks is the worst thing that could happen to him on God's green earth, I hope that someone does that to him. I hope that he gets to experience whatever his own personal hell on earth would be. Yeah, we're gonna have to meet an implied heteronormative standard to make it easier for police, I guess. I don't have a lot to say about it aside from like, it sucks and it's bad and I don't want to be here and this is terrible and please do something about it. I feel like maybe I should do calls to action earlier in videos. Like, this is gonna go up on the channel later, so maybe I just need to do calls to action sooner, but like, share the video. People don't know that these things are happening. Only my audience hears about these things. The 30,000 people, which is like a huge amount of people, by the way, but in terms of the internet and the world, 30,000 people is not that many. They're the only people who see this content. So if you're in my core audience and you're seeing this content, please share this video so that more people hear about it and talk about it with people. Let people know in your life, like, hey, this is super important. What can we do? Like, how can we get involved to help trans people? Go check out the rainbowpassage.org and see if there's like any volunteer work that you're able to do to help get trans people out of unsafe places. Like, we are having to start our own nonprofit organizations with the goal of getting trans people out. Yeah, does it make you feel at all better knowing that Biden says he has our backs? Does that help in any way whatsoever? Does that make you feel anything except abandoned by our government? Yeah, it, like, Biden saying he has our backs is basically like the hand that's drowning, where like our hand is drowning and then they high five us and then we just keep descending down. My mom was shocked. She's always been a things will work themselves out kind of person. Shit's getting serious. I hope that we're able to make people see that it's serious. You know, there's an article on Aaron Reed's Substack about how there has been somewhere between 130,000 and 200,000 Americans so far have fled to somewhere else safe. Like trans Americans, transgender people. You probably don't think there even are so many trans people. Like there's not a huge amount of us, and up to 200,000 of us have already moved across the country or out of the country here in America because it's dangerous here. It's not cool. Yeah, it's literally this. Exactly. It's literally this. I have your back against this hatred. Ah!
Hello, it's July. Thank you to my patrons, especially Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvag, Amanda B., Michelle Frattaroli, Danielle McDonald, Sarah A., Spooky Heather Sylvia, Athiet, Robin Olson, Michelle Winter, Wellington Marcus, Jamie Jam, Past Null Infinity, Desi Quiche, Nova, Suzanne Maynard, Mr. Atheist, Elizabeth Bartell, Sojo, and Kevin Young.